In this video, I'll be showing you how to create your own LLM Discord bot and how to host it. You can pick any model for it to use, even uncensored ones. And if you have multiple people on your server, they can all use it. This bot has a couple cool features built in. There are no limitations on the amount of prompts you can send. There's a queue system that makes sure the bot doesn't get overloaded if you have a lot of people using it at once. And it uses threads to keep things organized. After showing you how to set up the bot, I will show you a way to host it permanently on a cloud provider like AWS, or how you can run it on your own local machine for free. Let's jump right in. Okay, so let's start off with the prerequisites. First, we're gonna need Ollama. Ollama is basically an application that lets you use large language models quickly without a lot of setup. So if we click models here, you can see we can use DeepSeek R1, which is the new Chinese model. And this one actually might be better than OpenAI's O1 model. We have a couple different ones here, 1.5B, 7B, etc. And actually, since this one seems cool, I'm gonna try this one out. And I'll be using 1.5B because I don't wanna overload my computer. But yeah, you can choose Llama 3.3, 3.2, and then there's even, you can use the Google DeepMind Gemma. And I believe there is, yeah, you can use like Snowflake, Mixtral, Dolphin Mixtral, which I believe is somewhat uncensored. But then there's also, if you search for uncensored, okay, I can't spell, but Llama 2 uncensored, you can use this one. And you basically don't need any jailbreak. If you use this one, it'll just let you prompt whatever you want. And yeah, there's other ones as well. But for this example, we'll be using DeepSeek R1. But first we need to set up Ollama. And all these commands will be in my GitHub's README description down in the description below. So you can just follow along, or you can do what I'm doing in the video. Either way, it should work. I'm on Mac OS. You can also download this for Windows. And then Linux, I'll be showing you how to do that as well when we host this on AWS further in the video. So for Mac OS, go download, and then we're just gonna open up the file, install like normal. I'm not gonna install it again because I already have it. But once you install it, you'll be able to open it. So once it's open, you'll see in the top right, it's running here. And now if we scroll down, there's a quick start. You can do Llama 3.2. But since I want to try DeepSeek R1, we'll try this one instead. So let's try the 7B model. It might be pretty cool. Okay, so you can see here, whichever one you choose, it updates the run command. So I'll be using 7B, so copy that. And then open up your terminal, and you're just gonna copy that command. And this will download the model and automatically start running it. Now, once it's installed, it's gonna automatically open up a terminal here where you can chat with the model. So I can say, hello, how are you? And then the model will automatically start responding. Now, we don't want this terminal open. We just want the model to be running in the background. So just type /by. And then to confirm that it's still running, you can run Ollama PS. Now, because we want this model always to be in memory and we don't want it to unload, as you can see, it'll unload, 3 minutes from now. So we don't want that. We want it to be forever. So on Mac, you would type launch CTL, then set env, and we want to use this Ollama keep alive variable. I'm going to set this to -1. Okay, no equals sign, just like that. Now if I echo that back, should be -1. And then we can do Ollama run DeepSeek. That'll start it. I can exit out. And now if you look at Ollama PS, it says it will run forever, which is what we want. Perfect. Okay, now that is running and is installed, let's move on to setting up the actual bot. So again, the link for this is going to be in the description, but head over to my repository, Discord bot LLM, and we're going to clone it. So go here, copy that, and we're gonna do git clone and then just copy that in. Okay, so now that'll be cloned. You can cd into it over here, or if you're on Windows, you can just open the directory, same thing. And whichever code editor you prefer, I'll just use VS Code for this. Open where you just cloned that. You can see now I have the clone package. The first thing we're gonna wanna do is set up the env correctly. This is where you're gonna put your bot token and your bot client ID. So first things first, rename this to just.env. Okay, now we need to set up the actual bot. So head over to the Discord developer portal, and then you'll see all your applications here. I'm just gonna run through creating it again. So you're gonna click new application. So type in whatever you wanna name it. I'm just gonna do crowd LLM test, then create it. Now, once you create it, you can set a app icon here. And if you go to bot, you can also set the icon. The bot icon is actually what's gonna show in your server. So I'm just gonna leave it default for now. So head over to bot, and then we're gonna need this token. So click reset token. And then if you need to authenticate, do that. Okay, now the token is gonna be generated. So copy it. And then this is what you're gonna copy into the Discord LLM bot token. There we go. Then you also want the client ID, which you can get by going to OAuth, and then right here on the top left, client ID. So copy that, boom, save that, and your ENV is ready. Okay, so this is written in TypeScript, which means it has types. You can see we're getting a little bit of red here, and that's because we haven't installed anything. So before we do anything, we want to type npm install. Then you can see everything is there now. The only packages we use in this is .env and then Discord.js and of course TypeScript. So I'll kind of go through the code a little bit so you can understand what's going on, especially if you want to edit it afterwards. So the bot TS file is the file we're going to execute to run the bot. This basically has your bot token. It defines a new client with the intents, which is like almost permissions. And then it looks at the commands folder for any of your commands. So here I have prompt.ts. So this would be a command. You can also add commands by creating a new folder and calling it, whatever command you want, and then putting a command file with the same name, and then it will automatically load. So that's what this does. Then we register our commands. So that's the, that's the slash stuff you see here. So /prompt. So these are the slash commands you see here. And basically when I type /prompt, here we're setting a option to put an input in, and that's going to be my prompt. And this async block is where we actually do the code. And I'm basically saying defer the reply and make it ephemeral, which means only I'm going to be able to see it. And then we do this queue add item interaction, which queue.ts contains most of the logic for this command. It's basically a class with an object here. And so when we add this item, that's the first thing we call. It will add our interaction, and then it will also start the queue processor if it's off, which means this gets triggered. And so if queue is empty, then we want to stop it, return. Otherwise, we get all this information. We check if it's unprocessed, and then we process the task, which here is basically the logic for our Ollama bot. And here's the logic for where we actually access Ollama. So when you run Ollama run, it also runs Ollama serve, which basically starts a localhost server. And you can hit this on an API application like Postman. And basically we're sending a post request to this Ollama server that we're running locally. And we're providing the prompt, so the input from the user, the model that we use, which you can change. And then stream just means that we're returning it in chunks. And I'll show you what that means in a second. But first, let's set our LLM model. So you can see it's set to Llama 3.2 latest. So let's head up here and change it to the one we do want to use, which I already forgot what it's called. This one, DeepSeek R1 7B. You have to make sure these names match, otherwise this won't work. So change it, then save that. Okay. And then once we have that, you can see the fetch function calls that post request, and then we do some processing here. And most of this is just related to how we process the editing. So I don't actually wait for the whole response to get returned. I return it in chunks, just like ChatGPT does. And I'll show you what that means once we start the bot. So to start the bot, all you have to do is type tsc in your terminal, and then this will compile all of the TypeScript files. And also, just so you know, I'm using Node 18 and my npm version is 10.7. So in case you run into any issues, npm installing or something here. And then you can see once I ran that command, there's actually a dist folder that comes out, and it basically is just compiling all of this stuff to JavaScript. And now that we have that, all we have to do is run node and then dist / bot.js. Okay, here, messed up. User disallowed intents. Okay, so it looks like I forgot to give it the right permissions. So here you want to head down to OAuth URL generator, and then we're going to choose bot. And then for testing purposes, I'm going to choose administrator. I don't recommend you do this. You could probably like choose the commands that it does need, but I don't feel like doing all that. So it'll generate you a URL. So you're going to copy that URL in the browser, and I'm going to add it to my Llama bot test server. Then authorize. Always got to do a CAPTCHA. Boom, now it's in. You also have to allow intents, which if you go to bot and then just check this and this and this, and then save changes, you should stop getting this error. Let's run that again. Boom, there we go. Now it says bot is online, and you can see our bot here is online. So we're gonna do /prompt, and then I'm gonna use crowd LLM test, and then we're gonna say hello. It'll start thinking, and then it will make a thread, and boom, there we go. Think. I'm not sure where it got that, but it does do emojis apparently. Hello, how can I assist you today? And if you look at the terminal, you can see processing task with interaction ID, user sent message, this with prompt hello, task with interaction ID complete, and then it removes it from queue and stops the queue. And we can do /prompt, give me a 500-word essay on something random. I can't spell random, but you can see here it creates a new thread. And then this is what I meant with the chunking. So basically it edits the message instead of just waiting for this whole entire thing to finish and then sending it. It also sends new messages because Discord.js limits message size to 2000. So we have to split the messages, but my bot is able to handle all of that. And there we go. So it wrote give me some on something random, and then a random topic, but then it just wrote about like being random. Then to show you the queue capability, I'm going to send this message a couple times. So you can see it starts doing 3 at a time. And then the ones that aren't being processed, it actually edits the message and shows you there are 1 people ahead of you or 2 people ahead of you. I'm not sure why this one doesn't show it. It's probably a glitch somewhere. But yeah, you can do 3 at a time, or you can even change the concurrency. So if I did like 5, it should be able to do 5 at a time. I'm not sure why it always puts this like think thing, but I think that's just the model because I don't get it from other models. But you'll notice once this is done, these will actually start processing as well. So now you can see once it's done, the message will get deleted, and then the queue will actually update as well, and it'll start the new thread. The queue's a little bit glitchy, but it works for now. So yeah, also if you think of improvements for the bot or want to add something, just make a pull request on GitHub. I'll review your code and then merge it if it's good. My computer's starting to heat up here. So you can see there is no character limit. You can go as long as you want. Let's see if it can write code. So write a solution in Python to the two-sum leak code problem. You can see here that's that concurrency. So while it runs this new one, it's still editing the old one. Okay, so let's see if it can generate code. It's explaining to me how to solve it, but is it actually going to write it? It's probably the longest explanation of two-sum I've ever seen. Okay, it finally started writing code here. Finally, we got to the solution after like an essay. Where was it? Where'd it go? Oh. There we are. Solution code. That looks right from what I by just glancing at it. And then it's done, finally. After, well, this one was 21 messages. Wow, this one was 7. So yeah, it can generate code and then it auto formats it as well. And you can change the model to whatever you want. So basically the same way as Ollama run, then you exit out, and then make sure that the one that is running is the same one specified in the bot. So yeah, there you go. That's how you set up the bot on your server. Now I'll be showing you how to set this up on AWS so it can just run 24/7. And you don't have to use your own computer, because I guarantee you, if you have a server with a lot of people, your computer will probably overheat or crash or run out of memory, depending on the model you're using. So for AWS, you want to just head over to AWS and make an account. Assuming that you have an account now, we're going to log in. So, okay, once you're logged in on AWS, you will see this. Now go over to the search bar, type in EC2, and this is exactly what you think it is. It's virtual servers in the cloud. Okay, so click on instances, and then you're going to click top right, launch instance. And depending on which one you choose, that's how much money you will be charged. There is a free tier. You can use this Linux AMI, but unless you're using a super small model, it will probably be very slow because this is CPU only. GPU EC2 instances are super expensive, so I do recommend running CPU only. So for now, just use this C5AD 2x large. I mean, this one is pretty expensive. It'll probably be around 200 a month, but just for the example, so everything's pretty quick, this will work for any instance type, so you can mess around even with the free tier. Now here, I will choose Ubuntu, and we can use 24, that's fine. Keep everything the same here. This key pair, you probably won't have a key pair if this is a new account, so you're gonna click create new key pair, and then Discord bot key pair. So just name it whatever you want, and then you're gonna click create key pair, and then download it. Now in the terminal, what you're gonna wanna do is head over to your downloads folder, type chmod 400, and then your key that you downloaded. So that would be Discord bot key pair, Discord bot key pair.pem. Type that in. Then you're also going to type ssh-add. Then you're going to add that key pair. Boom. Now back to AWS. You're going to have that key pair selected, the one you downloaded. Just keep the VPC the default one, and then you can create a security group. We want SSH traffic. You can do my IP for security. For now, I'll just do anywhere because I really don't care. I'll be deleting this after the video. You don't need to allow HTTPS traffic or anything because the bot will be running from this server. So for storage, we want a decent amount of storage. I recommend probably at least like 60, but I'll do 100 because some of these models are pretty big. But I'll just do a 1B model on here. So we can do 60, it should be fine. And then that's it, that's all you need. And then we can type in the name, and then you're gonna click launch instance. Once this is launched, just click on it. It's gonna take a few minutes. You wanna wait for the status check to go from initializing to running. That might take a few minutes. Or sorry, I mean, if this instance state is running, you should be good to go actually. So if I click connect, and then we can click on SSH client, and you're gonna copy the example they have here. And then just copy that in your terminal, press enter, type yes. And now we are SSH'd into our virtual machine. So let's head over to my GitHub repo. You might have to clone using the web URL. Boom, git clone. And now you can see you have Discord bot LLM. And we also need to set up Ollama on here. So let's head over to Ollama, figure out how to do that. And for Linux, you just have to copy a command. So copy it, go back to your terminal and run it. This will download Ollama on your machine. And you will see this warning here that says there's no GPU and it will run in CPU only mode. So that's fine, don't worry about that. Now that we have Ollama installed, let's install our model. So I'm not gonna use DeepSeek, we can use a different one. Let's do 3.3, and then I guess this one only has 70B, so we won't do 3.3. Let's use the 1B version of 3.2. So copy the command, and you're gonna do Ollama run, Ollama 3.2, boom, downloaded. Once that's downloaded, just type /buy again. Then you can see, oh, god damn it. So one thing we do need to do is we need to set 2 variables for Ollama to work. And this will be the keep alive variable we set on our own computer. And then for Linux, for hosting this, we need there's an Ollama host variable. So we can set this in the Ollama service systemctl. So you're gonna wanna type this command, sudo systemctl edit -- full Ollama service, and go down here. We're gonna add a new environment variable. That's gonna be Ollama serve. Set this to 0.0. 0. Then we also want another one, which is going to be Ollama keep alive like we did in the last one. Set this to -1. Now exit out, press Y, press enter. And then if we look at this file, it should have our environmental variables here. Perfect. Now we just want to run systemctl sudo systemctl daemon reload, and then sudo systemctl restart Ollama. So nothing should be running. And now we want to do Ollama run and our model. So that would be Ollama 3.2, and it will download it here. You can type /buy. And if everything works correctly, you should see until forever. There we go. Now we have Ollama installed on our Ubuntu instance. You can cd into our folder here. And then in the parent directory, just type npm install. And if you get npm is not found, we just install npm. Oh, and if you get that, you do sudo apt update to get the recent updates. Then we can do sudo apt install npm, type Y. Once that's installed, you can type npm-v to make sure it's installed, and then node-v. As long as you're on 18, it should be fine. Now, if you type npm install, everything should work. Boom, installed. And now type tsc. Oh shit. Okay, if you get tsc is not found. Once you ran npm install, you should be able to run npx tsc, and this will compile the project. And actually, I did forget, we have to, oh, where's our env file? Guess it doesn't show it, but we have to edit our env file. So I use Vim, you can use Nano or whatever. So type, we're gonna rename our, or we can open the sample env. And let me make sure that we're opening with sudo. And so the same stuff you have in VS Code, just copy it here. So that will be this, and then the client ID here. You can also do something that's cool is bottom left, if you go here, it'll open this SSH thing, and then you can click connect to host, add new host. And then if you add that SSH command that we used previously to SSH into here, you'll actually be able to use VS Code on this AWS EC2 machine. So you'll be able to edit without, having to do Vim or something. But anyways, type press escape :WQ, and then you can check that this was edited properly. Then we also want to rename this to just.env and make sure that's there. Now that that's there, let's compile it again. npx-tsc. Now if we run node dis/bot.js, you will see bot is online. And to test that, we can do /prompt hello. There we go. And you can see here that it's running on our Ubuntu machine. Hello, how can I assist you today? Perfect. So that's how you run it on EC2. And I'll show you basically, the problem is if you exit out of this SSH or whatever, or even that, your bot will stop working. So one thing you need to figure out is how you run this forever. We already have Llama running forever here. So another thing we can do is use this forever npm package. And I've used NoHub before, but it still exits sometimes, so it's not something I want. And forever will actually restart your bot in case it fails. So just type npm forever globally. What do we get? Permission denied. Okay. Yeah, make sure you're using sudo for all of this. Now, once that's installed, all you have to do is type forever start and then dis/app.js, bot.js. And there you go. Boom. It will run it forever. And you can run like forever list to see what's running. And then you can see our bot is still here. So if I type, how are you? It will still work, even though there's nothing here. I can show you, I can also exit out of this SSH console and it will still work, or it should still work. So let's see. Oh, not that one. Give me a sentence that says, thanks for watching. You can see it's still working even though that I exited. Boom, there we go. You're welcome to come back and watch again anytime. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. And so now that we figured out how to install it on EC2, you can do the same thing to host it on your local host. So just type npm install forever-g. And if you head over to where we installed cd discord bot LLM. You will also be able to run forever dist app.js here and the same thing, but I'm not going to run it because it's already running on Ubuntu. It'll probably get errors. So if you do that, you can also run it on your localhost forever. As long as your computer is awake, your bot will always stay up. So yeah, there you go. That is how you make this work. By the way, make sure to join my server. I'm probably going to be renaming it from the AI crowd since I want to focus more on just like software in general. Even though I know AI is part of that, it's not going to be just AI focused. As you can see, like this is AI focused software tutorial. You'll be able to use this bot on this server, and then if you need any help with setting this up yourself or coding questions, you can also come here and ask me. I will answer your questions as best as I can. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.